So for the next kind of hour or so, we're going to be focusing, I put mindset practices for children, which is children and teens, which is essentially what it is, but with a real focus on self-appreciation, self-love, and accepting and respecting one another and ourselves and everyone else in our class and community. So, yeah. Wait a moment, see where everybody is at.
Thank you, Laura, for doing this. This is awesome.
Thank you for attending. No, thanks for attending like all the sessions. It's really nice, and I'm loving like seeing different people. So I've got some people like yourself who are coming to all the sessions, which I love, or most of the sessions, and then some other people who are like dipping in and out, and it's just really nice. Like for me, it's great because I'm getting to see some people that came on my training, like my in-person trainings years ago, who, you know, I stay in contact with all of my trainees, even those that did training with me, you know, 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I just started out. We still stay in contact, but of course I don't get to see them all, so it's really nice having them here. And then new people who've signed up to the community, people who are literally signing up like, you know, 5 minutes ago, 5 minutes before the class. So it's yeah, it's really fun for me. It's really nice to kind of bring everybody together, and even those that are going to be watching the recording, hopefully they still feel like part of the community, even though they're not joining live.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get started and then other people can hop on. I'm wondering if there might be something wrong with the link. Did you just press the same link to get on?
For today's, in this earlier, I was trying the link from yesterday, and I didn't realize there was a separate link. So
okay.
Maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but yeah, I figured it out.
Yeah, because I know that oh, whenever they're ready. All right, so yes, today I just really wanted to focus on these 3 areas which all come under ahimsa in yoga philosophy. So ahimsa being it's non-harming, non-violence. So a way in which I would teach it to children is loving kindness, compassionate communication, positive mindset. And so 3 areas of self-appreciation, self-love, respecting and accepting others would all come under ahimsa in yoga philosophy. For those of you that are not familiar with yoga philosophy, we do have certain kind of moral guidelines or codes of conduct, you might want to call them. And ahimsa is the first one, which is all about non-judgmental thoughts, actions, or words, and really coming from a place of love, kindness, compassion, patience, and positive communication with ourselves, with one another, and with nature. And for those of us who have a spiritual practice, also with God or the universe, or the many gods that you may connect with. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And I'm going to give really practical strategies. So things that you can kind of go out there and start doing straight away. And I definitely would encourage you to be practicing yourself. So anything that we're teaching to children, we should also be practicing ourselves. So just for our own mental and emotional well-being, but also because it can be difficult. So self-love, self-appreciation can be a challenge, and we want to be able to connect with children who are struggling with that and say, hey, I know exactly how you feel. I know this part might be difficult. I also struggled with that, and be, you know, working through all of this with the children as well. So it's not something that, you know, we don't have to have mastered everything in order to teach. There is a reason that it is called a yoga practice, because we are continuously practicing it alongside the families and the schools that we work with. Oh, so okay, so self-appreciation. One of the main reasons that I chose this, or one of the main reasons in which we really want to help children to embody self-appreciation and gratitude for themselves, is so that they can feel fully confident and accepting and grateful for themselves, no matter what society tells them, no matter what someone says to them. It doesn't matter where in the world they go, or what they're experiencing, or what challenges that they might be overcoming. If children have a deep sense of self-appreciation, it is going to help them to maintain their self-esteem and their confidence, and really their inner strength, so their mental strength and their emotional strength, so that no matter what, it doesn't matter what someone says to them, what kind of environment they might be in, any kind of like toxicity, if that's a word, that they're in, they have a deep sense of confidence in themselves, in their abilities, in who they truly are. And that is a fundamental life skill that actually not that many of us really have. And it's definitely something that so many of us adults are practicing, and that we're practicing through yoga and mindfulness. But we want to start right from the beginning, building children's confidence and their self-esteem and their mental strength, so that they can truly appreciate themselves. And if they do appreciate themselves, then they're more likely to go out there into the world and just not really care what anyone thinks about them, and just offer and give and be whoever they truly are. And that is what we want for them. So a really nice activity that I love to do is offering gratitude to themselves and to their body. So I do a relaxation where they say thank you to each body part. We did a little bit of that yesterday in one of the sessions. And it's a really nice practice to do to start with the little ones, so that they start to have an appreciation of their own physical body as well, so that we're creating for and positive body image, as well as the inner strength. And so getting them to say thank you to each individual body part for something that it has done that day. So for the little ones, it could be during their relaxation, they say thank you to their feet for helping them to dance, thank you to their legs for helping them to move around and go into strong yoga poses. For working with the older children and teens, it is a relaxation in which they're bringing their awareness to each individual body part and really being connected to that body part. So particularly in the teenage years, there is a lot going on hormonally and mentally, and obviously a lot of physical changes. And we want them to appreciate their body for getting into a natural rhythm, for appreciating their body for developing in a healthy way. And particularly with teens, there can be a lot of negative body image, negative self-image, because the physical body is changing and it's all might seem a little bit weird and strange and like icky, and they don't like it. And actually it's perfectly normal. And so we want them to draw attention to those body parts that maybe they don't feel comfortable with, and actually send gratitude and appreciation to those physical body parts or the internal organs as well that are changing, and the hormones that are changing, so that they do have a positive connection with their body, and they do start to understand that everything that they're going through, everything that they're feeling is actually really healthy. So that is a really nice relaxation, self-awareness, and I would say a meditation where they're drawing their attention, or you're guiding them to draw attention to those body parts, and offer gratitude. And I would say it's really important to do this activity with children who maybe have a physical disability or even a temporary injury. You know, for those of us that have experienced injuries, we can tend to be really resentful towards that. And the way we speak about it, like, oh, my shoulder, it's always giving me so much pain. It can't do that. It's so weak. It's not strong. It doesn't do this. And so rather than coming from that kind of negative self-image, actually nurturing it and saying, okay, you know, thank you, shoulder, or thank you, nervous system. Yes, I am feeling anxious, but you know what? Thank you for sending signals to my brain to let me know that I need to do breathing. Thank you, body, for letting me know that there's something that isn't right in my body. So really creating that healthy body, brain, or healthy body and psyche connection. Another lovely thing to do, particularly with preteens and teens, so those that are a little bit more fluid with their writing, is journaling strengths, characteristics, and qualities about themselves. And with the younger ones, you could just do it as a list. So they can you could go around the circle and say one thing, or go around the class or the family, and say one thing that they appreciate about themselves. So one thing that they recognize about themselves, their own strength, a characteristic. So it could be a physical characteristic, but of course we really want to help them go deep within and let it be a quality or a skill that they have. So it could be that they are a good communicator, or that they are kind or helpful. And with the younger ones, especially 3 to 5s, you know, they're still in this wonderful phase where they're not aware of, they're not so conscious, right, of being too arrogant or boastful. So you will get 4-year-olds that are like, I am the best at this, and I am the fastest runner, and I am the strongest this, and it's great and it's beautiful. And then once we get to like 6 or 7, they start to become more self-conscious and they start to lose that, or society or parents or teachers tell them that that's boastful, that's arrogant, that they shouldn't be saying those things. And so then they start to lose their confidence and they start to lose their self-appreciation, and it goes the opposite way. So within yoga or within your regular classroom or therapeutic sessions, just spending 1 or 2 minutes to either get them to journal 5 things down, or go around the circle and each say one thing that they appreciate about themselves. Body appreciation meditations, already mentioned that, which is awesome for all age groups, including adults. So it's still a nice thing for you to do. It's a great thing to do in family yoga, especially with busy parents who don't get time to connect with their physical body because they're on the go all the time. And actually just taking the time to firstly relax and have awareness of each body part, but also offering appreciation to each of those body parts as well. Getting children to identify the superpowers. So again, the little ones tend to be really great at this. And then once you get to like 8 years plus, that's when it becomes a really powerful technique. But you might see that children and teens are apprehensive to acknowledge what their own superpowers are. And I see it in my teacher trainings when I ask adults to do this, and they really struggle to firstly identify what they're really strong in, what is their strength, what is something that they do that other people don't necessarily do. And then to say it out loud is like, oh my gosh, no, I can't tell people that I think I'm really good at this thing, because they'll judge me and think I'm arrogant. And so again, this is like, as a teacher, we need to practice this ourselves in order to be able to confidently help children to practice this. But getting them to identify their superpower, and by that I mean what is something that they do that not necessarily everyone else does, that isn't necessarily normal. So it might be that they are a really great listener, and that everybody in the school, everybody in the class goes to them when they have a problem because they're a really great listener. It might be that they have this ability to make everybody laugh or smile. So what is it that is their superpower that comes naturally to them, that not everybody in their class or everybody in their family has? And it's a super simple activity, but it can be really, really powerful for building up a sense of confidence and appreciation for themselves. And then today I was great because, so this could be a journaling prompt, or it could be a way in which you end your yoga class, or if you're working as a school teacher, how you end your day with your children. So getting them to list at least one thing that they appreciate about themselves from that day. So it doesn't have to be great, but today I was great because, or today I was amazing at, or today I appreciate myself for whatever qualities. And definitely once we get around the 7 to 11 years, they really need a bit of coaching on this, because they can go down that spiral of like, oh, I wasn't good at anything. I don't appreciate anything I've done for myself today. I didn't do anything good. I didn't do anything excellent. I was just really rubbish at this. I wasn't good at that. And even if it's a really, really small thing, it's just that small little bit of appreciation. You know, today I appreciate myself because I took time for myself when everybody was annoying me. Okay, so that's like a self-care practice. So even the smallest thing that we can encourage them to appreciate about themselves can give them a massive boost in their self-esteem and their confidence. And this is what we want to be doing to make sure that no matter what happens in the world, no matter what they come across, what people may say to them or about them, they have this inner knowing that they, you know, this inner feeling that they truly appreciate themselves. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or says, because what they know about themselves, about their strengths or abilities, their superpowers, about their body, about who they are, they know that they are literally the best version of who they can possibly be. And that's what we're trying to encourage children through yoga. So self-love, so this is similar to obviously to self-appreciation, but I would say the self-appreciation is a little bit more about building up that inner mental strength, and as I said, the confidence, so that no external factors can, you know, ideally no external factors are going to make the child doubt themselves, because they really feel connected to who they truly are, and they really feel grateful for who they are. And then self-love is a little bit more about being compassionate and patient, empathetic towards themselves, so that it becomes effortless to be able to offer that unconditional love and empathy and compassion for other people, and not offering love and compassion to other people because they think they should, but because it really comes naturally and genuinely. And I think, I mean, we all know that you've got to start within, right? If you want to offer true love and compassion and patience to other people in your life or globally or within your community, you've got to have that internally. You've got to have that unconditional love for yourself to be able to really truly feel this empathy and patience, and want to genuinely offer kindness to others. And then the other side of it is also being able to receive love and kindness from others. So there's definitely children out there, especially I would say, you know, once we get to like the 7 to 11 years, which is when they start to develop a little bit more self-doubt. And that's where we want to be working, you know, with the Manipura chakra, with this kind of these qualities of confidence, and self-worth and self-respect. And then obviously up here in the Anahata chakra, which is all about love, compassion, kindness, and being able to receive it as well. So for those children who are like 7 to 11 years, there's a lot of giving. This is my best friend, I'm going to give her everything. This is my teacher, and I'm going to make her all these things and give her so much love. But then when it comes to receiving love or kindness or praise or positive words, they can start to get a bit shy, a bit apprehensive, maybe a bit resistant, and pushing it away. And I personally feel that is because part of it has come because it's a confusing time where they're transitioning from like early years into more of like the upper primary, upper like elementary school, the upper like childhood years, like the before the preteens. And so they're transitioning from this stage where they have been really the center of the family, the center of the world. It's all about themselves. They're allowed to say, I'm great at this and I'm wonderful at that and I do this great thing. And then bam, it comes to like 6, 7 years old. Then they're told, oh no, don't say that, it's boastful. Oh no, don't say that, it's arrogant. No, you're not the best at this and you're not the best at that. Everybody's good at everything and everybody's equal. And so that it's a really confusing time. So then they go, oh, okay, so I'm not supposed to receive all this praise. Okay, so I'm gonna literally push it away. So receiving love, praise, kindness, empathy can start to become a challenge. And then we can see it a lot in adults, where they're giving a lot, but they're not receiving a lot. And you've really got to be able to like fill up your own kind of self-love and compassion before you can unconditionally start to give it to other people. Otherwise you're just constantly giving, and that becomes exhausting, definitely on an energetic sense. So some simple practical activities that you could do is visualizations, where they are sending all of these qualities of ahimsa, so love, kindness, compassion, to themselves as well as others. So we do place a lot of focus, not just in yoga, but generally of course, in communities, in schools, of making sure that we are being, sharing with others and being compassionate and empathetic and sympathetic. And it's all kind of coming from here and going outward. And so in giving children an opportunity to actually give themselves some love and some patience and compassion as well through visualizations. It can be a really simple visualization. So with the little ones, it could be literally just that they are imagining a colorful light that is love just flowing all through their body, and they're sending themselves lots of love from their heart. And it could be as simple as that. It could just be breathe into your heart and getting them to cover over their heart center, and then cover your eyes and then breathe, or close your eyes, sorry. And then every time you're breathing, you're giving yourself lots of love and compassion. So it's just guiding them through these really, really simple either breathing, meditations, or visualizations, so that they can feel a sense of self-love, not just always giving out. Mantras or affirmations. So I'm a really, really big fan of affirmations, and some of my teacher trainees are always laughing at me and joking about my affirmations because I just think they're so easy to use with kids, and you're literally rewiring their brain. So you are literally working with the physiology of the brain in a really simple way. It's so accessible to everybody. I use them myself. I continue to use them. I started using them I'd say about 8 years ago, maybe, about 8 or 9 years ago. And I have to say, when I first started using them, I would say it, but I wouldn't believe it, so I would be saying, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am this, but then it will be like, I am strong. No, you're not. I am beautiful. No, you're not. Right. But it's just like, just keep doing it, keep using it, because apparently these things work. And they do work because you're working with the physiology of your brain. So you're rewiring your brain. And you might find that you will get teenagers as well who might be resistant to it and be like, oh, oh, miss, you keep talking about these affirmations. I am this, I am that. And it's like, yeah, but we're going to still keep doing it and see if it works. And it does. And you can weave these into any part of your class so that children don't even notice that you're doing it. You can use them in meditation. So it could be the main source of your meditation, the main concentration technique, where they choose their own affirmation. So always needs to be positive. I usually say with children to always use an I am statement, or I can. But I am is really very strong. Not I can be, or I want to be, or I wish I would be. It needs to be an I am. So I am strong. I am a good communicator. I am loved. I am kind. Whatever word that they connect with, or whatever word you're using as your theme. So sometimes I'll have my kids' yoga themes as mantras. Our theme for today is I am strong and grounded. And using that as a meditation. So they just repeat that to themselves. So you could do it as a chant with some body percussion, or you can do it internally. And I would suggest with the little ones, saying it out loud first, then saying it internally. And with the older ones, maybe 9 years plus, you can use it during their relaxation, and then do a 1-minute seated meditation where they just say it to themselves over and over again. Or you can weave them into your poses. So I will often play games where we pick out a mantra, oh, I am balanced. Okay, let's choose a pose where we feel balanced. Okay, great. Let's say our mantra while we're in our pose. Okay, next one, I am strong. Okay, what pose makes us feel strong? Let's get into it, and let's do I am strong pose. And you say your mantras together. So it's really easy. It's honestly one of the most, aside from the breathing techniques, I feel like affirmations, positive affirmations and mantras are one of the easiest, most effective way to help rewire children's brains. And yeah, using it for self-love. Obviously you can use them for anything, but definitely using them for self-love and self-appreciation. And what else was I going to say about that? It's not an affirmation. I can't remember what it's called, but I will sometimes do this, like, why am I, why am I always so lucky? Why am I always bringing great people into my life? Why am I always so full of energy? Why am I always so calm? Why am I always just chill? So whatever it is, and it's like a funny, playful way to introduce it. You could fit it in between your laughter yoga, and it's just, getting them to playfully say these like silly kind of rhetorical questions. But again, it's working with rewiring the brain with those positive affirmations. So try it out. I definitely, if you're a doubter of affirmations and mantras, just try it out for a week. Like just maybe try the why am I this for 5 days, just for like 1 minute a day, and just see how it affects you. And if after 5 days you're like, that was crap, that didn't work, then message me and be like, Laura, your affirmation didn't work. What can I do to make it work? All right, but just try it out. Another nice one is to write a love letter or a love note. So for the little ones, it could be that they can draw something for themselves. For the older ones, or for teens or families, a love letter to themselves, to their body, to their future self, which I'd love to do with teens, or to their past self as well. Definitely if we're doing the past self stuff, that's probably something that you might be doing in more of a therapeutic setting. But writing a little love note or it could even be a thank you note, but I think a love note is really nice, to themselves or to the future self. So definitely great for transition time. So if you're working with like 15, 16-year-olds who are going off into like that transition of adulthood, which can be really daunting for them, getting them to see themselves, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years in the future, and then writing a love letter to themselves, like, thank you so much, I just love how you are so radiant, I love how you are so brave, I love that you're so strong, and saying all of these wonderful qualities that they're projecting really what they want to feel that perhaps they're not necessarily feeling right now, or a love letter to their body. So again, similar to the appreciation of their body, but more about I love that my toes look really weird when I do yoga, or thank you to my ankles that are super flexible and let me run really fast, or whatever it is. And this one can definitely be difficult for teens and adults, so it might be pushing them a little bit outside of their comfort zone, but that is yoga. And so I would say making sure that you really know the kids that you're working with if you're doing something like that. And then another journaling prompt or a quick game could be all the things all the things about me, no, all the things I love about me. Sorry, I missed the main word there. So all the unique things about me, all the things that I love about me. And it could be that you just give them 1 minute to journal all the things that they really love about themselves. And again, trying to get them to go inward as well, so about their characteristics, not just about their physical things. But again, with kids and teens, we do want to make sure that they feel confident in their own bodies. And so it is okay if they are, it's healthy if they're saying, I love that my fingers are really slim, and I love that my hair is so long and silky, and I love the color of my eyes, and so getting them to think about those characteristics, but also internally that they are, a kind person, they are helpful, they're a good communicator. They might love that they always have lots of energy, or a skill that they have. They might love that they play piano. And recognizing the uniqueness of themselves as well. So kind of coming back to that superpower, but focusing on the unique things about themselves that they truly love. And if they can focus on the unique things about themselves, then they're able to focus on the unique things about other people as well, which is really helpful when we want to encourage them to be communicating with others with unconditional love and compassion. All right, so before we move on to how we can do activities to accept and respect others, I want us to do one of these little activities and then maybe share it. So I want you to write down, if you've got a pen and paper, or you've got your notes up on your computer, write down 10 things that you appreciate or love about yourself. It can be a physical characteristic, it can be 10 qualities. We did this as a challenge on my teacher training. We did a 5-day challenge about how to bring mindfulness into, incorporate it into our everyday. So this was one. So write down 10 things that you appreciate or love about yourself. Physical characteristics, qualities, skills, strengths. I'll give you a little minute to do that. And as you're doing it, you might notice that it's really easy, or you might notice that it's a challenge and you can't get past number 1. So it's all self-awareness. So for those of you that are just jumping in now, we're just doing a quick minute to write down 10 things that you love or appreciate about yourself. If you're going to share these activities with children, you absolutely have to practice them yourself. And once you've got to 10, or if you're on 8 and you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't get those final 2, I want you to type at least 1 in the chat box. And that is probably one of the more challenging things, is to share it with everyone else. So type in the chat box 1 of the things on your list. And I'd love to know if you managed to get 10. Who is that with the miniature schnauzer? Oh, whose is that profile picture? I can't see your name. Oh, I love miniature schnauzers. They're so cute. All right. So type it in the box. Who's going to be the first one? Oh, Karen. Well, it's nice to kind of meet you virtually. I can't see your face, but your dog is super cute. I love them. I hope that your dog will be attending our teacher training when we start in July, Karen. Okay. Christina, thanks for being the first one. So, not afraid of the unknown. I got 3. Okay. I would challenge you to work on those today to get up to 10. Okay. Being unafraid of the unknown. That is definitely a superpower for sure. Not many people who can say they're not afraid of the unknown. All right, Cheryl, I have a calming voice, also a superpower. Not everybody has that. I definitely don't feel like I have that. Phoebe, nurturing. Nikki, I love that I am caring, playful, and hardworking. I also love my curly hair. Awesome. Nice. Charlie, I am calm. Charlie got 4. Okay, Phoebe got 10. Ooh, well done. Nikki, how many did you get? Also 10. Yay. So those of you that didn't get up to 10, definitely challenge you to work on that today. Maybe those of you that got 10, you can be like, I'm just going to go up to 20 and see how many wonderful things that you can appreciate about yourself, all the unique things that you can appreciate about yourself. BB says, I've been doing work on this. Yay. Self-love is super important. And as I say, if you're going to do it with kids and teens, you got to do it with yourself. Also, if you're going into family yoga, I'm telling you that this, especially with the mums, with the mamas, you're going to be, self-love is can be a really important one, because I mean, parents in general, but again, it definitely, you see it more in the mothers who are like, give. And then it's like, have you taken any time for yourself at all to appreciate yourself and to really be patient with yourself? And so if you're going into family yoga, I definitely encourage you to have some of these techniques in there and to have some, making sure you're getting those like undertones of like self-love and appreciation for the parents. For the parents to appreciate themselves. All right, Karen, I love that I am a child amongst children. Yay! Inner child that's out all the time is always nice. I need a bit more time. Well, yeah, definitely work on that today, ladies and gents. See if you can get all the way up to 10 or even more. All right, so techniques for accepting and respecting others. And so this, you know, is obviously, it's a vital, it's just like a fundamental life skill to be able to accept others, whether they are similar, whether they are completely different, whether they have different beliefs, whatever it is. that makes you similar or different, but being able to accept them. And also not just accepting them, but really respecting them, their ideas, their opinions, their beliefs. It's definitely something that fundamentally we start off, I think in the early years, we really try to focus on this. And then sometimes we can kind of forget it a little bit once we get up into the upper primary and the teenage years. And this is really what yoga is all about. It is unity and it's community. And if we want to create, a loving and positive and vibrant, diverse community and unite everybody, which in the world of yoga, I think all of us here definitely want, then we really need to make sure that we're supporting children to accept everybody and to fully respect one another as much as they respect themselves. So that's where this all kind of fuses together. If they have love and appreciation for themselves, they automatically have respect for themselves. And if they respect themselves, then they can be much more respectful of other people. And I feel that if you really truly have self-love and self-respect, you don't want anything toxic coming into your mind. And thought, negative thoughts, however you want to phrase them, uncomfortable thoughts, absolutely come into your mind. That's just the brain's, safety mechanism, basically. But we can choose to say, okay, no, that's like toxic, or no, I don't want to think that, I think like this. And if we have that self-love, then we really want to make sure that we're kind of diffusing the negativity or negative thoughts that come into our brain. And therefore we do want to accept and respect others, because if we're judging others, then that's toxic for ourselves. Okay, so hopefully that kind of makes sense how it all weaves in. And yeah, I think it's just fundamental to having a healthy mindset, and it's fundamental to a healthy community, and it's absolutely necessary for us to unite, whether it's we're uniting a class, uniting the whole community, uniting society, uniting globally. It's just fundamental. So some really simple but effective playful strategies are things that I love about you, or I call it sun in the center. So again, you'll get it with the little ones where you sit everybody in a circle, and then one person sits in the center of the circle, and everybody just for 30 seconds or 1 minute says things that they love about that person. So you get the little ones and they're like, okay, it's my turn. Okay, yes, say nice things about me. Yes, that's right. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, that's right. And then you get like the 7 and 8 year olds who are like, I don't, and they sit like this, and then they're like, oh, thank you, thanks. And then you get the teens who are like, I'm not even doing that. I'm not doing that, miss. Nah, I don't need, no, I'm not doing it. And then you get the adults who are just like crying because it's like, I haven't had anybody say nice things to me for 25 years, So we want to try and get the kids to be like the little ones who can, come in and sit in the circle and really just take on that praise, those compliments, that love. And even the people who are outside the circle saying the things that they love about that person, it can be difficult for them because maybe they don't want to say it out loud. Or with the younger children, they definitely say things like, I love your yoga pants, I love your hair clip. And so they need a little bit of coaching. So it's like, yeah, that's great, I love that you're so kind. And as a teacher, you've got to kind of also put it out there to encourage them to go deeper past I love your sparkly hair clip. So this activity, you are very much like facilitating, coaching, and modeling how it works. But once you've done it once or twice, the kids really get into it, and then they're able to go a lot deeper with it. And for the older children and teens who it just feels painful for them to sit in the middle of the circle, you can get them to go into child's pose in the middle of the circle, or if they don't want to go into the center, they can stay in the circle and maybe just be in child's pose with their eyes closed, so that they're not they're not looking at everybody as they're receiving this praise and this love, because it can feel intimidating. So it's doing it step by step. But this is to get the children to really think about, what do I admire about you? What do I respect about you? And then obviously that child's being able to receive that as well, so that they're building up their confidence, they're building up their self-respect, their self-worth as well. If this is just way too much, if you're working with a group who there's a lot of friction and there's a lot of disrespect perhaps between the group, it could be that you just write it down rather than saying it out loud. And I've done that with groups before, where we write it. So you write the name on the piece, everybody writes their name on a piece of paper, and then you just write something to that person. And it could just be one word, or it could be a whole thing. Like, I really admire that you're strong and you don't care about anything what anyone says. And then they fold it over and it goes to the next person. So the notes go all around the circle. So everybody is writing something for everybody else. If you're working with a group where there is a lot of friction, you're going to need to check the notes first before they go back to the child, to make sure there isn't anything like, I think you're a piece of crap, like I don't like you and I don't like your yoga pants either. So you need to check on that. But it is a really great activity, simple but a great activity, to get them to start thinking about what they appreciate about that person, especially if there's a lot of friction in the group. As always, visualizations of sending love, appreciation, respect to each other. So the love and kindness meditation is a great one. It's called the Metta meditation, METTA. And this is typically sending loving kindness from yourself. So you visualize sending it to someone that you love in your life, and then someone that you don't know, that maybe is just, it's either you don't know them because they're on the other side of the world, a group of people that need kindness and love and compassion, or someone at the coffee shop that you don't know but you see them every day, you want to send them love and kindness. Then you send it to someone that you're having a challenging time with, so someone that maybe brings up difficult feelings for you. And then lastly, you send it to yourself. So always coming back to that self-love and appreciation. So it's the traditional metta meditation is all about love and kindness, but you can definitely switch it up to offer respect. So offering respect to someone that you love, offering respect to someone that you don't know, offering respect to someone that is maybe brings up challenging feelings, and then offering respect to yourself. So super simple visualization, but very, very powerful, especially if you're doing this visualization on a regular basis and you're doing it in a class, again, with teens, or a class there is some challenges within the group where you can see that the dynamics just don't fit. There's a lot of disagreements or arguments. Partner yoga is, of course, or partner exercises in any way, is a really great way for them to work together, but making sure that they work with everybody in the group. So it's completely inclusive. So there is none of this, oh no, I'm working with my best friend, or I don't want to work with her, or I don't like working with him. It's like, no, you're all working with one another. Everybody's working with everybody within the group. It's fully inclusive. And as you're doing this, noticing what comes up, so if they do say, I don't want to work with her, or I don't like working with him, and rather than just dismissing it or saying, well, that's wrong, we respect everybody in this group, really taking notice of that, and then making sure that you are working with activities that do encourage them to be accepting of everybody, or even drawing awareness to, you know, why is it that you don't want to work with certain people in the group? What is that all about? So kind of getting to the root cause of it. You know, is it because it's friction? Is it because they're judging that person? Is it because they're worried that that person is judging them? Is it something that they don't like about that person? So, you know, for you as the teacher, kind of getting to that root cause of like, what is it that this child or this teenager is struggling to work with this one? Why don't they want to work with them? And then really kind of doing some of these exercises and practices so that we can come to a space of not just respecting them, but fully like accepting them and making it a really, really inclusive environment for everybody. So partner yoga, I will do, you know, one pose with one partner and then say, okay, everybody switch, find a new partner. Okay, do this pose. Okay, now everybody switch, so that everybody's getting to work with, it depends on the size of the group, but you definitely want to be mixing it up. You know, work with someone they haven't ever worked with before, work with someone who's, you know, the same sex of you, work with someone who's younger than you or whatever. Like finding ways so that they're working with different people within the group. Doesn't have to be like physical. So if you are working with groups that, again, like you really see that there's so much friction and so much you know, argumentative behavior, and they might not want to physically touch one another through partner yoga. So then pairing them up in partner exercises where it's a discussion or a sharing, but in some way where they are getting to work with everybody within the group. Kindness code, I call it my kindness code. Some people might call it an agreement. You might have another word for it. For those of you that have got your own space, whether it's your own studio or your own classroom, I definitely encourage you to have your agreement up at all times, to just, the kids can visually be seeing it throughout the day or every time they come into your studio, and they create this together. So it's, you know, sitting them all down and saying, you know, what do we want this space to be like? So when you're working with like teens or 9 years plus, like, what do we want our yoga space to be? What do we want our community to be like, you know? And getting them to choose the words, because they need to be able to connect with the words. And maybe coaching them through it a little bit, but essentially taking what their words are and making sure that it's relevant to them, basically. And then for the little ones, it's, you know, like they'll be like, we should not say poo poo. Okay, that's right. Okay, what should we do then? What should we write on our kindness code? Because I don't want to write poo poo on my kindness code. What do you think we should write? Say nice words. Lovely. Okay, so it's a little bit of coaching, but it's still relevant to them. So that for the, you know, 4 to 6 year olds, it might be say nice words, use your words, not your hands, be gentle. And then for the teens, it might be that they come up with listen to what everybody has to say, even if you don't agree with them. Yeah, so they might not use the words respect everybody's opinions, because that's maybe more formal. So it has to be relevant to what they're saying, but then also you don't want to be writing certain things on your kindness code that's going to go up on your wall. If they create it, they are much more likely to respect it. It's a great behavior management strategy. I will literally go, guys, look, you wrote this agreement, look at it. Are we following this right now? No, we're not. Okay, come on, let's, you know, bring it back together. So it is like I don't know if I'd say behavior management, but maybe like prevention of, or a way in which you can handle some challenging situations. It's literally like, you wrote this, you agreed to this, let's all stick to it. It's essentially like, you know, your guidelines for your whole class. You together, or they have created the rules. And when you ask this question, they always know, they know what is appropriate behavior. So they always come up with the things that you would come up with. It's just they've created it in words that are relevant to them. And again, they're more likely to respect it. And then, of course, modeling it. So you, as the teacher, absolutely need to accept and respect everybody in the class. And I know you might think, yeah, of course I do that. This is children that we're dealing with. Of course, it doesn't matter what, their cultural background or the educational background or the financial background is. It's, children are children. But you might sometimes find yourself, if you have a difficult parent, that then you might think, oh gosh, this child is like whatever, because the parent is difficult. Or if you have a child who is showing challenging behavior or a different ability. So you want to make sure, or just really check in with yourself, like, am I fully accepting this child? Am I accepting their behavior? Am I acknowledging who they truly are? And am I respecting them as an individual? And making sure that every child in the class really gets acknowledged. You acknowledge their opinions, their ideas, their beliefs, their background, their previous knowledge. And regardless of what their family's beliefs and background and upbringing actually is, you're accepting it and you're respecting it. And I think I've been so fortunate to work internationally since I was 21, so for like 15 years. So it really it's become very easy for me. It's very easy to fully accept and respect all of the children and the teens in my class, because I'm constantly working with every different type of family that you could imagine, from all sorts of different backgrounds, different countries, different religions, different cultures, all within one class. And so then it's, the more exposed you are to different like diversity basically within your class, then the easier it is to be able to understand how this actually works, and learning a lot from the kids, because working with a global community of children who, again, have, since birth basically have been with other children of different backgrounds and religions and races and languages, they all just, if they're in that environment, they're much more instantly accepting, because it's just never been a thing. It's just never been an issue to not be accepting and respectful of others' backgrounds. So definitely working in the global community, or international community, I would say, you've got children who it can be easier to work with the concept of respecting one another no matter what. And there are just a few. Check the time. Gosh, that went so fast. The hour. So there are just a few of the practical activities that you can kind of, go out there and start sharing. Definitely some that you can start practicing yourself, I'm sure. But I would love to know, before we leave, firstly, how are you feeling now? So it's okay if you're feeling a bit like overwhelmed or a bit tired from staring at the screen or anything else you might be feeling. And what's one new thing that you intend to share with either your family or practice yourself, with your class or with your community, whether that's an online community of your followers or whether it's a community within your yoga studio. So I would love to hear that. If you can type it in so that we all know. Let's have a little look. And yeah, definitely for those of you who were maybe finding it a challenge with some of those self-love, self-appreciation, remember that it's also not just for yourself, it is for everybody else that you work with. If you have a deeper sense of self-love and appreciation, you are able to genuinely and fully be able to come to offer love and compassion and respect for others as well. All right, so B, or BB, is feeling excited and things that I love about you exercise. You're going to share that. Awesome, and practice it. Nice. Christina, I really appreciate your advice and I want to share the self-appreciation techniques with my own adult children. Yes, definitely. So even if your family are like grown up and you've got 20 or 30-year-olds, still, you know, everybody needs to be working on this always. Nikki, I feel inspired and hungry. Do you know what? I always get so hungry on these calls. It's like my brain is using so much fuel. More mantras, yay! And love the sun in the center with the receiver in child's pose. Awesome. I would love to know if you use that in any of your upcoming classes. Definitely let me know. Cheryl, feeling impressed with your skills. Thank you, Cheryl. I hope you can use at least one of these strategies with anyone in your life, whether they're children or big kids. And okay, Cheryl, we'll try self-appreciation lists with your students. Yay! Charlie, I might write a love letter to my future self. Yeah. The love letter, I think, for me, it used to be definitely one of the harder ones. Now I do it all the time. And the more you practice these, the easier it comes, the easier it is. So it's everything in yoga and mindset is just practice. And Charlie, you're going to finish a list of 10. Yay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And for those of you who have already signed up to my teacher training, I am super excited to get started on it. This kind of like a little 60-minute version of what you will get. So if you have been thinking about it, then this is kind of what it looks like. But our community all knows each other. Thank you so much for everybody who joined. Bye.